Good afternoon, everyone.
Uh,
Starting the webinar right now. And this is FM Zakirul Haq. I am working here as Head of Administration for CIRDAP. And I'm honored to be the MC for today's this special session. And on behalf of CIRDAP, I would like to welcome all distinguished participants and our honorable technical committee members of our 14 member countries. And today's session is a very special session. It is the first webinar of this series under CIRDAP Knowledge Circuit. This is institutional innovations in rural development, policies to practices and learnings of National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, India. So, and for this session, today we will have our very honorable technical committee member of India, Dr. G. Narendra Kumar, the Director General of NIRD&PR. And to officially commence this event, it is my distinct privilege to welcome and to invite our Director General of CIRDAP, Dr. P. Chandrasekhara, for his opening remarks.
I'd like to,
we can go ahead.
Take this opportunity to thank the DG CIRDAP for giving for this opportunity to present about India's rural development approach and our innovations, rural development policies to practices and our learnings from it. So,
sir, good morning, DG Saab. Just 2 minutes for our side.
Yes, please.
Just to introduce the speaker and the topic. Jakir, would like to start now?
Phone.
Yes, sir.
Before that, I will take 2 minutes. Good morning, all of you. I would like to welcome every one of you to this very important webinar. Especially, it is my privilege to welcome the Director General of National Institute of Rural Development, today's Honorable Speaker, Dr. Narendra Kumar, to this important webinar. Thank you and welcome to you, sir, to this webinar.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to see the heads of National Institutes of Rural Development from all the CIRDAP member countries. Individually, I would like to welcome every one of you to this very important webinar. At the same time, we have our CIRDAP MOU partners and also CIRDAP experts who are taking part in this webinar. Welcome to you all. I will take 1 minute to tell what this webinar is about. CIRDAP Knowledge Circuit. Basically, the very important mandate of CIRDAP is to create a platform for exchange of good practices. And
they are
National Institutes of Rural Development are the repository of all these good practices. So it is very important to connect National Institutes of Rural Developments of all the member countries. So this is the first initiative. It has, 2 steps. Number 1, through webinar, the overview of, the organization, structure, function, mission, mandate, the policies, programs, innovations and impacts.
Are you able to see our PPT?
Heads of the organizations, and where other heads of the National Institute will be present, followed by visits. As we already aware that, after this webinar, we have organized a study and exposure visit of all the heads of the institutions to NIRD India. So this will, is going to cover all the National Institutes of member countries on a rotation basis for a period of time. So we all will get an opportunity to visit all the National Institutes. Wherever National Institutes are not there, the lead departments to study their, the policies, programs, and innovations, impacts, take some good practices back home to implement in our respective countries. That is the very purpose of CIRDAP Knowledge Circuit. So this is the first step, first webinar. And again, I would like to thank and welcome Honorable Director General of NIRD, Dr. Narendra Kumar, as the first speaker, and NIRD, which is a globally renowned leading rural development organization, as the first institute for visit in the month of June. With this, I request Mr. Jakir to introduce the honorable speaker for 2 minutes, then we can start the talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable remarks. Today's our speaker, honorable speaker, is Dr. G. Narendra Kumar. He is a senior IAS officer from the 1989 batch of Indian government and working as a secretary rank, as also the Director General of the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati. He is also the technical committee member of CIRDAP. And he has his PhD in chemistry from Osmania University, master's in biochemistry from IIT Delhi. And he also holds a master's degree in public administration from Maxwell School of Public Affairs, USA. And he did his certificate course in information system and telecommunication management from Syracuse University in New York. Dr. Narendra holds a wide spectrum of development domains such as technical education, information technology, rural development, agriculture, cooperatives, land and buildings, performance monitoring, and evolution of a few more. He has awarded with a Golden Icon Award for exemplary leadership and ICT achievement for e-governance in education. He has instrumental in setting up 4 specialized universities in Delhi and also conceptualized and commissioned a biofertilizer project for converting polluting sugar mill and distillery waste into useful biofertilizers in Pondicherry. He introduced an online pollution monitoring system for highly polluting units in Pondicherry. He developed the National Code of Good Governance in India. At NIRD&PR, in a short span, our Dr. G. Narendra Kumar initiated reforms like enhancing the vision from the elevation of poverty to quality of life at rural, launched at the SIRD grading system, initiated SIRDs as regional centers of excellence, standardization, and strengthening of research for effective policy advocacy and capacity building. Framework for strengthening the transparency and capacity of NGOs, collaboration with national and international organizations like ICRI, SFT, CIPS, and reforms in training calendar, connecting SSG products with various e-commerce platforms. He also have that instrumented the launch of 250 model of GP clusters, activating a school system and development of IT platforms for effective governance and few more. I can say many more. I would like to stop here, and now I would like to request our honorable speaker, Dr. G. Narendra Kumar, the Director General of NIRD&PR, for his presentation. Sir, the platform is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and very good morning to the Honorable Director General of CIRDAP, Dr. Chandrasekhara, and a warm welcome to all the participants from various institutes and implementing departments, agencies from the various CIRDAP member countries. Indeed, is a great opportunity for us to present India's development perspective and contributions to India's rural development from a development institution like the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. It's also a great opportunity to learn from other institutes and other agencies, departments of member countries who are participating in this series of deliberations. It will be a great opportunity to exchange views amongst ourselves, to mutually strengthen each other's in our capacity building journey for bringing about rural development, to bring rural development to life again in the international perspective. Next slide, please. So this is a brief outline of my presentation. Deliberately, we try to keep very few slides, because if we keep talking and put more slides, I think it will be an endless journey and endless talk. Therefore, we try to be very restrictive, kept only few slides and many uncovered areas, I'll try to verbally vocalize and try to bring you up to speed with the various developments. So broadly speaking, this is our understanding of India's of the rural development scenario. India recognizes rural areas as those areas with a population less than 5,000, a population density of less than 400 people per square kilometer, and with more than 25% of the male working population engaged in agriculture.
Ini lebih dari 25%.
Nggak usah diterjemahin. Nge-record aja dulu.
Hope we are audible, please.
Excuse me, we are, please unmute yourself. Only the DG sir is talking.
Yeah. So this apart, as we all know, rural areas are those with low density and closer connect to nature. And so taking on these things, this is, I think, the definition that we sort of follow. It's a close to a definition that we try to have for the rural areas of the country and the areas that we service from the Rural Development Ministry and from the National Institute of Rural Development in bringing capacity building. So here we outline briefly India's approach to rural development programs. And broadly speaking, we focus on improving the quality of life and bringing about economic welfare of people living in rural areas through various initiatives such as infrastructure building, social assistance, land reforms, and so on. There have been a number of programs that we implement from the Government of India up to the local government level. One of the most significant category of initiatives that we implement are programs for livelihood opportunities and economic empowerment. And most significant of that is the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act and National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, through which we provide livelihood to all the wage seekers anywhere in the country. Anyone who demands work is given work, and it's the largest safety net program in the world. So similarly, we have a rural skill development program called the DDU-GKY, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. We have a National Rural Livelihood Mission with which there are 90 lakh self-help groups are associated. About 10 crore women are associated with this. And through this, we bring about transformative change in the rural development scenario in the country. We've also got various initiatives for infrastructure development in the rural areas, focusing significantly on rural connectivity. And one of the most successful programs in Indian history has been the rural road connectivity program called as the Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana, which has connected remote corners of the country in a very short span of time, transforming the entire connectivity landscape of the rural areas, entire dynamics of how the rural areas are now able to interact with urban areas and with the country as a whole. Similarly, now we are moving towards digital connectivity, and that's called as Bharat Net. And we have been able to provide optical fiber net connectivity, internet connectivity to more than 75% of the rural areas in this country. And that's an ongoing effort. Shortly, we will be able to complete connecting all our rural areas through this optical fiber network called the Bharat Net. Similarly, an objective is to provide housing for all through something called the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, Gramin. And that's something which is again taking root and getting strengthened. And we've made large strides of progress in this area. And we have successfully run 2 important water and sanitation programs in this country called Swachh Bharat Mission. Through Swachh Bharat Mission, we have been able to provide toilets to every household of this country, which did not happen for almost about 70 years or so in the country. Now we are able to provide toilets to every rural household in the country, and because of which most rural areas of this country, almost every rural area of this country has become open defecation free. This obviously is leading to large improvements in the public health and sanitation outcomes in the country. Yeah, now we are moving to the next program called the Jal Jeevan Mission, through which we are providing good quality rural water supply to every household of the country. And these two we are operating on a programmatic basis in a limited time bound manner. We're able to provide good quality drinking water supply to every household in the country, ensure that every village becomes open defecation free. Another major initiative that we're taking up in this country is providing solar power in every village, ensuring that every household has an opportunity to get loans and to get finance to get its own solar panels and generate solar power on its own. So this is another initiative we've taken. Ongoing initiatives are the National Social Assistance Program, taking care of the old and senior citizens in the rural areas of the country, widowed persons, handicapped persons, and so on. So that's an ongoing effort. Land reforms also, we've taken significant measures. Panchayati Raj institutions is the third level of government in the country. The top tier is the central government. Below the central government, we have the state governments. Under the state governments in the rural areas, we have the Panchayati Raj institutions. And for building capacities of various functionaries across all these schemes, that we have the network of institutions, and at the apex of this network of institutions is the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, where we are situated and where we hope to interact with you, to welcome you here, to continue to work with you and grow with you for capacity building of rural areas in all the CIRDAP member countries. Our broad approach to rural development in the country are two kinds of approaches. One is a broad-based approach. The broad-based approach involves improving the overall quality of life, improving infrastructure, health, education, employment opportunities, social well-being, and so on. In contrast to that, we have also a focused approach. In the focused approach, we prioritize inclusive economic growth, but in a manner that everyone benefits from that economic growth opportunities. Also, we focus on regional development approaches to growth and development. And one such program that we have is something called Aspirational Blocks Program and Aspirational Districts Program, with which we are significantly concerned in bringing about regional economic growth, development, and regional social development also. So now, how do we bring about development using these approaches through the National Institute of Rural Development, being an institute concerned with bringing about rural development, rural transformation, and rural local governance? I think I'd like to focus a little bit more on how we work in the National Institute of Rural Development, so other sister institutions can benefit from our approaches. And we'll be happy to share our approaches to work with similar institutions and similar agencies in different CIRDAP member countries. Our vision broadly aligns with the vision of the Government of India for rural development to bring about inclusive and sustainable improvement in the quality of life of people living in the rural areas. In that direction, NIRD does 2 or 3 significant things. We act as a think tank for the Ministries of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, generating ideas on new programs, helping improve ongoing programs and their implementation through various capacity building efforts. And the capacity building effort that we take, we act as an apex capacity building and training institute through a network of institutions. This is very unique to NIRD, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. We have a network of 29 SIRDs through which we operate and 90 extension training centers. This is a wide network that we have, unparalleled network in the country, through which we are able to reach every nook and corner of the country. And we operate again through training of trainers and various other approaches that we take. So these are some of the objectives of the National Institute of Rural Development to act as a think tank. And research-driven capacity building would take up a lot of research activities on what is upcoming. And once we have the research outputs on various upcoming areas which can have policy impact, then we implement the findings of our research through action research projects to refine our research understanding, our research findings. Once we have refined approaches through various action research projects, we then take them to dissemination phase. And NIRD's objective is to become a Institute of National Eminence and Global Excellence, and that's where we seek support from all of you to understand good approaches for capacity building, good approaches for rural development in CIRDAP member countries, to be able to strengthen India's rural development journey by understanding better approaches from the CIRDAP member countries, and also contributing to rural development excellence in various CIRDAP member countries. That is something that we aim to do. So as I was mentioning, we operate through a training of trainers approaches to be able to reach across the length and breadth of the country through our network of institutions, the State Institutes of Rural Development and Extension Training Centers. In addition, we also adopt various approaches, other approaches. We have various contrivances such as national resource persons, which significantly builds the capacity of our large NRLM program, which caters to about 90 lakh self-help groups and about 10 crore rural impoverished women. So that's another contrivance. In addition to our network of institutions, national resource persons, we have a large pool of national resource persons whom we identify, train, and keep them ready for various capacity building initiatives that we take up all over the country. Similarly, we have got various master resource persons that we have developed over a period of time. And that's again something that we use on an ongoing basis, especially with respect to training in our local government organizations, all the Panchayati Raj institutions. So these are various ways in which we roll out our capacity building efforts, which in turn draws upon our research findings and refined through action research approaches. So NIRD, this is the physical landscape, and as I was mentioning, we'll be happy to welcome you here to our headquarters. Hopefully, we'll see you in June to understand you better, to learn from you, and be able to share with you some of the good practices in India's rural development journey, India's rural development innovation, and innovations in capacity building in particular. So we are based in Hyderabad, the south of India. And we also have offices in Delhi. We have an office in Guwahati, the Northeastern Regional Center. We have another office in Vaishali. Some of our faculty members from our concerned centers have joined here. I'll introduce to you as we go along when I think there will be a question answer session. Before that, I will introduce them to you. NIRD started in 1958 in Mussoorie. Then we added on Panchayati Raj, which is the local government system in India, capacity building for the Panchayati Raj institutions, added on to NIRD's work in 2014. Then we saw the merger of another technology-based organization, the Council for Appropriate Rural Technologies, got added on to NIRD in 2020. So this way we have been adding on to our work and we've been succeeding with whatever we do. And this work we do through 7 schools and 21 different centers. Next one, please. Next slide. So this is a list of our 21 different centers which are housed in 7 schools. I'll not dwell much upon them. So when you're here, we'll be able to show the work of each of these centers to you. Next one, please. Yeah. So we also take part in direct implementation, supporting the Ministry of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj in direct implementation by supporting a few programs, such as the NRL Resource Cell, significantly takes part in capacity building of the self-help groups. 90 lakh of them are there in the country. Plus, we act as central technical support agency for our important skilling program, skilling of rural youth through the DDU GKY Resource Cell in NIRD&PR. Next one, please. We also have a technology part because there has been discussion to say that, look, we are talking from the top, talking about capacity building of officials at the state level, at the district level, but we also need to have a ground level connect. And that's the ground level connect that we try to develop through this rural technology park by developing various technologies which can be disseminated into rural areas and spun off into enterprises for growing the rural economies. This center typically runs through a public-private partnership model by partnering with various private organizations where they run training cum production centers. They have a production center, but while producing, they train the rural youth in setting up similar enterprises in the rural areas. And quite often, these private partners also provide them buyback arrangements. They buy back from the rural entrepreneurs whom they have trained and whom they have spun off into the rural areas. So these are some focus areas. As I was mentioning, one of the key strengths of NIRD is the network of institutions that we head. we have a network of 29 State Institute of Rural Development and 90 extension training centers. Hitherto, we are concentrating our efforts on working through the SIRDs. Over the past 2 to 3 years, we have moved significantly to the extension training centers, which are at the district level, so that it does not become difficult for the participants to travel to the state level or to the national level at Hyderabad, but they can access the capacity building events in their nearby vicinity only. So this is some innovation that we've done. In addition to the various training programs for capacity building of our trainees, mostly our officials, we also provide a significant number of PG diploma courses in rural management, rural development, in geoinformatics, sustainable development, tribal development management, and so on and so forth. Here, the idea is to professionalize rural development, rural management, and local governance. Because we found that we don't have many professional degrees in this field. We have professional, social workers. We have professional health workers, agriculture workers, but we don't seem to have professional rural development managers, and that's what we are trying to do through these academic programs, developing professional managers who can man the various rural development and local government programs. Next one, please. Recently, we started a PhD program with the Jawaharlal Nehru University, which is the leading university, especially for social sciences in this country. And the focus of our PhD program is primarily on finding solutions to rural development program. We don't want to be stuck with analysis paralysis, so to say, but look to solutions through our PhD scholars for various intractable problems in the rural areas, and through that contribute to welfare in the rural areas. And we hope in future some of our PhD students are able to twin to work with some of the institutions in CIRDAP member countries to be able to contribute to problem solving in the CIRDAP countries as well. Next one, please. So this is a profile of the trainees that we cater to. Roughly, we've been providing about 1,500 to 2,000 training programs every year. And the number of trainees that go through our portals every year is about 68 to 80,000 people keep going through our portals of NIRD&PR every year, successfully completing various training programs. We work with various international agencies. We work with the CIRDAP. We work with ARDO. We work with the CICTAB. And we also partner with the Ministry of External Affairs of Government of India in running various India Technical and Economic Cooperation programs in various countries. And through these programs, we share Indian experiences in R&D for the developing countries. Next one, please. So these are a list of some of the international programs that we conduct at NIRD&PR, and we would like to welcome participants from the member countries to take part in these programs, and we'd like to support them in every which way possible for us. Next one. So these are some of the insights from India's rural development work, that we are focusing on developing institutions in the rural areas. It's not just the local government institutions, but we have a parallel structure of the self-help groups, which are well federated and which are well structured. So they have also come into being as parallel institutions. So they have also come up, and we've been focusing on providing basic living standards as a housing, pipe water, sanitation, and so on. Next one, please. So these are some of the development institutions that we're talking about, that the self-help groups have become a major force to reckon with in India's development journey, especially during the past 15 to 20 years. Earlier, we had these Panchayati Raj institutions, which are local government institutions, which are organized into 3 tiers within the panchayats. There's the Gram Panchayat, which is the village level local government institution. And above that, we have a block level institution, which is an aggregation of the various village level institutions, and above that is the district level institution. So that way we have been able to well structure self-help groups, so much so that they have become a force to reckon with in the rural areas, paralleling the strength of local government institutions, the Panchayati Raj institutions. And Panchayati Raj institutions, as I was mentioning to you, operate on the principle of subsidiarity, that is, whatever services can best be delivered at the lowest possible level of government, it should be delivered at that level. And as a part of this, we focus on devolution, various types of devolutions, which is financial devolution, devolution of funds, and functionaries as well. And one important way in which we contribute to development through the local government institutions is something called as the GPDP, Gram Panchayati Development Plan, which brings about convergence of the development agenda of various departments at the panchayat level. So that's something that we've been doing. We further moved on to localization of sustainable development goals with 9 different themes being identified. Is one of the key initiatives that how can we achieve sustainable development goals in a targeted manner, in a monitorable manner, using local development indicators. That's something which is unique to India, and that's something that we've been able to take forward successfully. And when some of you are here, we'll be happy to share some of these initiatives with you as we go along. Next one, please. So other development institutions are also there in India, in the rural areas. Cooperatives are a strong force to reckon with, not as many in number as the self-help groups, but they're also present in very significant number, and their financial contributions to development of the rural areas is also very, very significant. In addition, new institutions are coming up, such as the farmer producer organizations, which basically leverage on scale of operations for procuring inputs and for being able to market agricultural produce. Startups are also beginning to become a force to reckon with in the rural areas, like these various institutions have come up in the rural areas, and they've been able to make significant contribution to change India's rural development scenario. With pride, we have to say that we've been able to make significant strides of progress and development, which we are happy to share with CIRDAP, our friends in CIRDAP member countries. India's story has been a story from a begging mole to that of a major exporter of food. In the 1960s, India had to go around the world scouting many developing countries, asking for wheat from somewhere, rice from somewhere. From that position, today we are the 3rd largest exporter of food grains anywhere in the world. Life expectancy in India at the time of development, at the time of independence, was 36 years, and we've been able to close to double that to 70 years, as we know recently. Literacy rate was only 17% at the stroke of independence, and that we've been able to grow to 80%. There's a 10-fold decrease in maternal mortality rate, increase in per capita income to over $200, decrease in poverty ratio from 70% at the stroke of independence to 20% in 75 years of our independence. Now, as I was mentioning, game-changing thing is we have all-weather roads connecting almost every village of this country. So this has really changed the entire dynamics of rural and urban. Now, even if a person is in rural area, he can easily travel to urban areas and get back to his village the very same day after completing his work, after working in the urban area. So this is a significant change we've been able to bring about. This also means that accessibility to rural citizens to almost all services that are available in the urban areas. Housing for all, as I was mentioning to you, we've been taking up to the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, which we're taking forward. Pipe drinking water to every household through something called the Jal Jeevan Mission that we are taking up in a limited time frame. These are 2 innovative programs that have been taken up, driven by our Honorable Prime Minister. The Jal Jeevan Mission of providing good quality drinking water supply to every household, and Swachh Bharat Mission providing good sanitary facilities to every household to achieve zero defecation-free villages and panchayats. We've been able to achieve this in a limited time frame. Of course, it cost a lot of money. Almost about 3.5 lakh crore rupees have been invested in the Jal Jeevan Mission, but they've been transformative in the sense of programming. Earlier generations of programming were not time limited. These were time limited and focused on bringing in resources, bringing in the required manpower, having the necessary plans to achieve results in a time-bound manner, and we've been able to achieve the results. In terms of program management, this is a significant leap that India has been able to achieve, and those approaches, again, is something that we'll be happy to share with CIRDAP member countries. Now we turn to some of the contributions that we have made as a National Institute of Rural Development, focusing on our research and taking that research to the field level functionaries through our capacity building efforts. So one significant area of our contributions has been to the self-help group movements under the program called National Rural Livelihood Mission. And we have a National Rural Livelihood Mission resource cell at NIRD. And through this, we've been able to capacitate almost these 90 lakh self-help groups with and 10 crore women associated with that movement. But what has happened is that this has come about over a period of about 15 to 20 years. Significantly, over the first decade or so, or even up to almost 15 years, the focus was on saving and thrift activity. That is, the women in the group would come together, set aside part of their savings, daily savings, and the group would manage those savings well, invest them, and loan them to any one of the members who is really in need of loan. Instead of going to the money lender, being charged usurious rates, they would manage the finances within the group and thereby giving a boost to livelihood activities. But now we're making a significant shift. We have made a significant shift from saving and thrift activities not being confined only to keeping the money lender away, but to giving a boost to entire rural economy by setting up a large number of micro enterprises in the rural areas. The dream and objective of the Government of India is to set up 3 crore micro enterprises in the entire rural India, and through that bring about a transformation in the rural landscape. And that's what we are trying to facilitate through our NRLM resource cell based in the NIRD&PR headquarters at Hyderabad. Previous one, please. Yeah. So we also basically, as I was mentioning, the primary shift has been from a credit flow based approach to micro enterprise formation, looking at end to end from business development, business planning to reaching the products to various markets across the length and breadth of the country, and also going internationally. So this is something that we are promoting actively. Also involved, as I was mentioning, that we have a very successful program called the Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana, which has connected almost every village of this country. But it is also necessary to have public transportation facilities to ply on these good roads which are connecting every village. And that we are bringing about through a program called Ajivika Gramin Express Yojana. That's something that's happening and moving forward. Next one, please. Narendra National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. This is the world's largest safety net program through which we endeavor to provide 100 days of employment to any household which seeks employment. Any household, be it rich, poor, when they are in need, they ask us for work. Work is provided to them in the rural areas. And that's how this program becomes demand-driven and a self-targeting program. Anyone who asks work is provided work. And various types of works are taken up, focusing on natural resource management works, water conservation, and so on and so forth, and extending to creation of durable assets such as creation of schools, creation of roads, creation of childcare facilities such as the Anganwadi centers, and so on. And these wages for this large number of people, almost more than 4 crore beneficiaries participate in this, and we transfer the wages to them within 15 days through a direct benefit transfer system. So that is the facility with which we provide these fund transfers to the beneficiaries, and bringing about a convergence across various departments is again a central part of this program, the NREGA program. It's not enough that we don't rest on our laurels. It's not just a top-down push of the various programs providing a safety net, but we also want to ensure that the benefits truly are benefiting from the program through various infrastructure facilities that are created and through the fund transfer to them for the works that they have performed. And we want to ensure that the benefits really reach the beneficiaries through a social audit process. That's something, again, that we are very strong in the National Institute of Rural Development here, and seeing our capabilities in the social audit, various other ministries and departments have commissioned to take up social audit guidelines and social audit development work for various ministries such as the Ministry of Education and so on. We've also taken up various studies such as the time and motion study, because when works are taken up, we need to understand how that work is to be quantified, how estimates for that work are to be drawn up, and how much money has to be paid to which beneficiary, and all that comes up through what we call as the schedule of rates. The schedule of rates for various works are arrived at through a time and motion study in which NIRD&PR is active, and it has drawn up the schedule of rates through time and motion studies for various states and union territories in the country. Moving forward, we are now on the reform agenda within the NREGA, because we try and keep improving time to time. So one of the important innovations we're trying to bring about, in addition to financial management, as I'm mentioning, through direct benefit transfer, in moving towards a village infrastructure development plan, that how do we ensure that we saturate the various infrastructure requirements of villages and panchayats. That's an area that we're focusing on in this initiative. Next one, please. Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana, as I was mentioning, is one of the most successful programs in the country, and which we and the National Institute of Rural Development have assiduously and diligently monitored through geoinformatics tools, through various satellite data, to ensure that the roads are well laid, roads conform to the quality, and finding out gaps in the road connectivity to ensure that all villages are properly connected with good quality motorable roads. And we have therefore contributed in the National Rural Development to evidence-based planning for the execution of roads on the Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana. Another key contrivance which India has put up, and this is unique for the Gram Sadak Yojana, is the National Quality Monitoring System. We have a network of national quality monitors that we've identified, and state quality monitors who oversee that the roads are properly developed, proper quality roads are laid. And also another innovation in the road network program of India, the Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana, is 5-year maintenance contracts which are given to the contractors. It's not enough that the contractors lay the roads, but they're also responsible for maintenance for 5 years. Thereby, they ensure that good quality roads are laid. If they don't have the maintenance responsibility, they just get away. They save their money themselves, their maintenance money, by laying good quality roads. So that's that's the innovation over here. Then we're also focusing on the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana Grameen. And as I was mentioning, the objective is housing for all, and that's where the government is traveling. In that journey, we have developed various model houses in NIRD&PR to ensure that good quality houses are constructed within the financial outlay given to the poor households. So integrated with good quality toilet facilities, integrated with good quality drinking water connections is something that we've done, and we're moving forward. And as I was mentioning, that this Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen and Jal Jeevan Mission for providing good quality drinking water supply to every household draw upon a new programmatic approach of completing works in a time-bound manner, saturating entire villages, that is ensuring that every village household had good quality water supply, ensuring that every village is open defecation free, is good in terms of sanitary facilities. These are things that we're accomplishing in a time-bound manner through this new programmatic approach. Likewise, we have the aspirational blocks program, that in spite of these efforts for developing various areas, some areas lag behind, and that's where we adopt a regional approach to development. As I was mentioning, there are two approaches that we take up. We have a broad-based approach and we have regional approaches. The regional approach is something that we have taken up with the Niti Aayog, which is India's think tank for various development activities, under the aspirational blocks program. This is another name for blocks which are lagging behind. And aspirational blocks program, there's another program called aspirational districts program, that which districts are lagging behind, how do we focus on their development in an intensive manner? How do we focus on development of blocks which are lagging behind in an intensive manner is the focus of this program. This is very strongly indicator-based program. We focus on specific indicators to say, how do we make progress on these indicators? Out of school children, how do we ensure that out of school children are brought to school? How do we ensure that malnourished children are properly dealt with, malnourished mothers are properly dealt with? How do we reduce maternal mortality rate? How do we ensure that TB incidence is much reduced and almost eradicated. So those are focus areas, such like indicators are there, totally 40 indicators are there. The aspirational blocks program, we were responsible for capacity building for various functionaries from the blocks in 500 blocks of this country, and 2 levels of capacity building we did. One was general leadership training, just to encourage them, to enthuse them to take to their work seriously, to take to their works with due diligence. The second kind of capacity building programming that we took up was the sectoral trainings. The sectoral training focused on 2 approaches. The first approach of training was to identify challenges, because these are blocks which are lagging behind. How do we understand what is really holding them back, understand the challenges in development, and enable them to overcome those challenges? That's the first step to move the aspirational blocks forward. The second step is to identify best practices so that these aspirational blocks move beyond the state level of indicators and become achieve best practice level themselves. So that's something that we have been doing. Next one, please. So Prime Minister's Krishi Sinchai Yojana is a watershed development program that we've been focusing on. This is the 3rd generation of watershed development programs that we're focusing on. First 2 development phases have been successful in their own way. This draws upon various innovations. Innovations include the springshed development. Innovation include developing various institutions such as the farmer producer organizations, self-help groups, and associating them from the beginning with the watershed development, so that the fruits of watershed development flow to the beneficiaries organically in a very quick way. Next one. As I was mentioning, IT is a very strong part of India's rural development. We have huge databases under the MG Narega, which is as I was mentioning, world's largest safety net program, the e-Pathshala, Poshan, and Jandan accounts, through which every beneficiary has a free zero balance account. So these are various ways in which we've been able to contribute to through IT to rural development. There are some pictures of model houses that we have developed here in NIRD, and it will be an opportunity to have you to visit these houses, explain to you various sustainable low-cost technologies that have been used to reduce the cost of these houses. Next one, please. Bamboo has been another area of focus, because India grows a large amount of bamboo. How do we develop that into useful products? That's something that we've been focusing upon. Next one, please. I think this is the last initiative. I'll stop here. I think we've got a substantial amount of time. That, as I was mentioning, through our local government institutions called the Panchayati institutions, which are there at 3 levels, we've been focusing on how we can achieve sustainable development goals at the local level in a focused, pointed manner. 2 indicators, local development indicators, tracking the indicators, ensuring that the local governments and the villages achieve progress on each of the sustainable development goals. Some of the 9 different themes which have been set for ourselves by the Ministry of Panchayati Raj are these. That is, how do we achieve a poverty-free and enhanced livelihoods village? How do we achieve a healthy village, a child-friendly village, a water-sufficient village, a clean and green village with sufficient infrastructure, socially just and socially secure village with good governance, and a woman-friendly village. So these are the 9 different themes that we're working on under the localization of sustainable development goals. Next slide, please. So this is how we do this, that we monitor progress on the various indicators, local development indicators. This is the 4 different themes: poverty-free and enhanced village, that some of the indicators are given: 100 days wage employment, job card holders under Narega, household covered under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. And for instance, healthy village, children 0 to 59 months deaths are recorded, women 15 to 20 records, anemic mothers are recorded. Child-friendly village, underweight, stunted, and wasted children are dealt with effectively. So these are various indicators, therefore, under each of these localization of sustainable development goals, through which we track. It's not that this is the exhaustive list of indicators. There are many more indicators, but just giving an illustration of the indicator-based approach to tracking progress. So this has been another approach that we've been following, that an indicator-based approach to rural development, to progress in rural areas. In addition to, as I was mentioning, a time-bound programmatic implementation to achieve results in the rural areas. So all this happens at the local government level through something called the Gram Panchayati Development Plan. And one of the key focus areas in which we have been able to make a contribution is to integrate the Gram Panchayati Development Plan with something called the VPRP, Village Poverty Reduction Plan, which is developed by the self-help groups. As I was mentioning, there are two different institutions, sets of institutions in the country, the local government institutions called the Panchayati Raj institutions and the self-help groups. How do we bring about a convergence among themselves through these two instruments, the GPDP and the VPRP, again, an area in which NIRD had made significant contributions to bring them together, and though fruits are visible to us just now. Next one, please. So various think tank activities of NIRD&PR are not well on this. I think I've covered on them very in some way. So here we can discuss more. One of the important approaches that we're taking about Swachh Bharat mission and the Jal Jeevan mission, changes in the behavioral pattern of people is very important. How do we bring about change in the behavioral pattern through life cycle based behavioral change approaches is something that we are focusing on. In short, what I would like to say is that our approach is to create knowledge through various research-based activities, apply that knowledge which we have developed through research-based initiatives through action research programs, distill the researched knowledge into programmable knowledge through action research projects. Once we have programmable knowledge, that programmable knowledge is developed into programs in collaboration with the Government of India, Ministry of Rural Development, Panchayati Raj, other ministries. And those programmatic initiatives are again disseminated through various dissemination capacity building events, where we not only disseminate the knowledge contained in the guidelines and in the programs, but also we try to cover up any missing links in the guidelines through our various capacity building events. In addition, we have professional programs for developing professionals who can effectively deal with rural development, with local governance. So in various aspects, as I mentioned, sustainable development through geoinformatics, generally rural development management and tribal management and so on. So this is our approach, broadly speaking: create knowledge, apply it, and disseminate it. So this is where I'll stop. I would like to once again thank Dr. Chandrasekhara for this opportunity to be able to speak to all of you. We look forward to increased interaction, collaboration with all our friends in various institutions, various government organizations across the CIRDAP member countries. And I hope that our collaboration will be fruitful in the true sense to be able to bring about transformative changes in rural development landscape in all the CIRDAP countries by mutually reinforcing each other's approaches. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the inspiring and insightful presentation.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful presentation. The first impression, 1 hour talk is too less to understand the activities of a big institution like yours. Now, without taking much time, this stage is open for discussion. Any clarifications or questions from our esteemed participants?
Dr. Chandrasekhara, can I introduce my colleagues, please, who are here, so that they can also address any queries? I'm joined by Dr. Kesava Rao. Dr. Kesava Rao is head of our Center for Rural Research Training and Coordination. And I'm also joined by Dr. Vanishri. She is also assisting Dr. Kesava Rao in the Center for Research Training and Coordination. Dr. Venkatamallu is also part of this center. I'm also joined by Professor Murugesan, who is head of our Northeastern Regional Center, who is on vacation, but he has chosen to join this webinar. So this is the strength of people. Others from NIRD are also present, but these are the team who will be answering any questions if as required. Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, sir. Now we can see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we're just in time to be seen.
So now it is open for discussion from our esteemed members.
Yeah.
Any clarifications or questions?
So, Mr. DG, I have a question.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Go ahead, please.
My name is Mohammad Israr and I'm IRD expert for CIRDAP from Pakistan. My question to Director General is that he mentioned in his presentation that India is going to solarize the rural areas and solarization is in progress. So what mechanism and what strategy is supposed to be there in place for the disposal of the solar panels after 10 years, 8 years? So I think it will be an environmental hazard. So what sort of arrangement the Indian government is going to make? Because in Pakistan, solarization also very common. So we are wondering that how this panel after 8, 10 years, when it's going to be discarded, how the governments are supposed to dispose of those panels. Thank you.
Yeah, we have other. Can we take some more questions and answer all of them together, please?
I have another question as well, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
My
Please.
second question is that the Indian government is going for the rural connectivity to urban areas, and as you mentioned, the farmer producers groups are supposed to take their commodities from rural areas to urban areas just because they are very perishable and they can easily take off those commodities to the urban areas. So, is there any toll collection on those roads first? Then you mentioned that the contractors are supposed to make the maintenance of those roads for next 5 years. So what is the mechanism for toll collection and how the contractors are supposed to go for maintenance of those roads? Because there are new artificial intelligence systems that once they get the survey of the road, so the points which need repair and maintenance, they are only targeted. Either in India, it is prevented through the artificial intelligence, or the whole road is supposed to be constructed under the maintenance and repair mechanism. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah. There is a question on decentralization and digital marketing. We'll do this also. Yeah. So shall we take these questions now?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Yeah. The first question on the solarization. For the solarization, we have got various rules called the e-waste rules. E-waste rules of 2022, which deals with all the electronic waste, including the various photovoltaic cells, photovoltaic modules, panels, etc. So they are dealt with by those rules and they are very strictly regulated. We also have the concept of extended producer responsibility, that who are the producer, they also have the responsibility to ensure that the solar panels are effectively disposed of. Hazardous waste management rules have been there for a very, very long time in this country. So anything which is hazardous, and they've been revised in 2016. So they also draw upon the solar waste management very effectively. So these are important ways in which it's provided for under the rules of the Government of India to deal with the solar panel waste, and they're effectively dealt with under these rules. So the next question is about the road construction. So road construction, if you come to India now, you will travel and you would see that the roads are very effectively maintained. The whole road which is given to a contractor, he is expected to maintain that entire length for the 5 years. And that's overseen by the quality monitors, both the national quality monitors as well as the state quality monitors. Two levels of quality monitors we have. We have the state quality monitors as well as the national quality monitors. Through this mechanism, we've been able to ensure that the good quality roads are built and also well maintained. So that has been the strength of the Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana rural road connectivity program of the country. Decentralization, there was a question, I think, on decentralization. Decentralization, and I don't remember one more. Digital marketing, right? So decentralization, India had a constitutional amendment called the 73rd Constitutional Amendment, which started getting implemented in 1993. Now we've seen more than 30 years of implementation of that constitutional amendment, which really made the local government institutions what they are. Earlier, they were called as local self-government institutions. from being local self-government institutions, they were transformed into local government institutions, independent on their own, working below the central government, state government, and at the local level. Basically, basing themselves on the subsidiarity principle that we were talking about, and significant amount of decentralization of funds, functionaries, and finances has been provided under the constitutional amendment. 29 subjects are devolved to the panchayats, or local government institutions, by the state. And we have something called a Panchayat Development Index, Panchayat Devolution Index also, through which we regularly track how many of these subjects are effectively devolved to the panchayats and how they are effectively being implemented. That's something we continue to do systematically. And funding is again provided to the states based on the minimum common program, which is supposed to be taken up by the panchayats and the states, implementing the State Finance Commission recommendations and recommendations of the Central Finance Commission, through which substantial amount of central government fund also flows to the panchayats, provided they conform to the requirements, such as the devolution requirements, such as the requirements for planning, and so on and so forth. So that's how we ensure that the decentralization moves forward. Even though we don't say that decentralization has reached an ideal state, but we are making significant progress compared to where we were. We have made significant progress, and we continue to make progress. Digital marketing is again a very, very interesting area on which we are working and putting a lot of force and energy. As I was mentioning, one of the significant transformative projects of this country in the rural areas is the livelihood initiative, that is moving the self-help groups, 90 lakh self-help groups in this country, with which 10 crore women are associated, from a saving and thrift activity, just saving their money, to formation of micro-enterprises. Micro-enterprises that can bring about a transformation in the entire rural economy by significantly taking up production activities. Production activities mean that whatever produce is made, those produce and those goods are sold, and sold through marketing channels. And various mechanisms for marketing are being taken up for intra-state marketing, interstate marketing, as well as international marketing. And as we all know, that digital landscape is very, very significant for marketing, looking to Amazons, looking to Indian e-commerce vendors such as Flipkart and Meesho, and so on and so forth. Now we are going forward to something called ONDC, which is an open commerce development platform which the government of India has developed, through which various vendors from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, can sign up to the ONDC, and they would have the marketing data and the product description profiles which are given, so that the consumers all over the world have access to Indian products and products made by our self-help groups also. So that's an initiative which is rolling, which is going forward, and we're looking forward to participation from countries of the world to join our ONDC, so that they can gain access to produce from India. So that's where we are. Yes, please. Any more questions? We're happy to take those questions. Yes, rural youth development, one key area through which we contribute to rural youth development is something called the DDU-GKY, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, which is our rural skilling program. We have a separate skilling program for rural youth, in addition to a national skilling program. The national skilling program is called the Prime Minister's Kaushalya Yojana, Kaushalya Vikas Yojana, PMKVY. In addition to that, specifically to focus on skill development of youth in the rural areas, we have this DDU-GKY program. With the DDU-GKY program, the needs of the rural youth are identified. Then they are provided access to go to skilling centers run by various project implementation agencies, where skilling classes are held. Some theoretical classes are also held, and a lot of practical classes are held. Then that is buttressed and supported with on-the-job training. Through all these mechanisms, the youth are skilled sufficiently to be able to take on their job responsibilities in various employment avenues. And one of the most significant areas of strength of this program is its placement. It's not enough that the skilling centers train rural youth and skill them, but also ensure that they find jobs with employers very effectively. And in that direction, again, NIRD also has taken a lot of initiatives, that we have got an online employment exchange through which we link the trainees of these skill development programs with the those who are able to provide jobs, the employers and the potential employees. We make the match happen through such like initiatives and various other initiatives to ensure that placement is effective for the rural youth. In addition, we also focus significantly on the soft skill development. It's not just, but also get them polished, because there's always a sort of looking down upon the rural youth who are skilled, to say that, look, you are not a polished person, you're not something like a college graduate. So we want to get the rural youth who are skilled also well polished in terms of the soft skills, in terms of English education, in terms of the various other soft skills which make them good, bright, and be able to stand on their own feet in the business landscape when they decide to become self-employed. So this is what we are doing for the rural youth through our skilling programs.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm Professor Vasanthi Rajendran. I was with NIRD for nearly 25 years before I moved to another institute. Thank you very much for your description of what are the programs for youth development. I would like to know, sir, whether NIRD has conducted any evaluation study on these programs for the youth, because what we see is the programs are very good on paper, but when it comes to actual implementations, there are a lot of problems, and we find a lot of youth who are not yet aware of all these programs, and they're not able to take the benefit out of this. So we'd like to know how many, actually youth have benefited, whether and what are the problems in actual implementation, in the field. If NIRD has taken up any studies, and where these studies would be available.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, we act as the central technical support agency for the Ministry of Rural Development. Therefore, we're tasked with the responsibility of monitoring how this program is getting implemented. That includes evaluation on an ongoing basis also, to tell the various stakeholders, state governments, project implementing agencies, as well as the ministry, on how the program is going, how many youth are getting trained, how they're getting skilled and getting placed. One central strong point for the DDU-GKY program is its placement linkage. Very few programs have that placement linkage, including the PMKVY. So that's very strong point. And people do get placed. It's not to say that, look, every rural youth is aware of the DDU-GKY, but I myself seen in various centers that without any mobilization, even though we have systematic efforts for mobilization of the rural youth through various animators, etc., I myself seen that people walking into the skilling centers asking for skill training. So I think there's significant gravity to this, and people are catching on. They're coming to the skilling centers on their own. They're happy with the placements. One of them, I asked them that, why are you coming to the skilling center on your own? What drew you to the skilling center? So they said that, look, what draws us is the placement. At the end of this training, we are assured of placement, and that's what brings us to the skilling center. So I think, therefore, this has been the strong point, the placement of the placement under the DDU-GKY. And now they're coming up with a new version of the DDU-GKY. There has been a transition, I think, from the DDU-GKY 1 to DDU-GKY 2, during which period there have been some disturbances. But now we are coming to new DDU-GKY 2 program, which is going to be more placement linked. A significant focus on the employers will be there in the DDU-GKY 2, which is coming.
Thank you, sir, for the information. Just like to know where this data will be available regarding the placement, number of placements during a particular year.
I think our DDU-GKY cell should be able to provide you with this data.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'll get in touch with it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other clarifications? Maybe one or two. Fine. Just it is my duty to conclude now, if no questions. First of all, thank you, respected Director General, for a wonderful, informative presentation and for your valuable time. Recently, I read a newspaper report that a federation of self-help groups called Kutumbashri, they contributed 2.5 million US dollars to Chief Minister relief funds. This is an indication of the women development, empowerment, and their social concern and the kind of livelihood options, income generating livelihood options given to women who lives in village, but still the development is taking place through these approaches. So like that, there are several rural development approaches, programs, policies initiated by Government of India and NIRD. We heard from your presentation. The entire presentation will go to CIRDAP YouTube channel, which is available for all the participants and other people also at any given point of time. If you want more information, you can go to NIRD website also. And I would like to take this opportunity for re-inviting all our knowledge partners, the heads of National Institute of Rural Development in all the member countries to, confirm your visit to National Institute of Rural Development, Hyderabad. What we heard today, there is an opportunity for us to visit and stay there, and on one-to-one basis, we can also clarify many issues. We can take a week time. Please confirm your participation. Many things we heard with respect to policy. In fact, India brought amendments in the constitution itself so that the judiciary, executive, and the entire system responds positively to decentralization of powers through 73rd Constitution Amendment. More such initiatives also happened in the country. And look at the progress made with respect to self-help group movement, which is initiated by NIRD, but progress across the country. Today, hundreds of models are available. Maybe we get an opportunity to listen to them. And Rural Technology Park is one of the places we should not miss to visit. It is a sort of action research where the potential entrepreneurs are housed, mentored, and also their product is popularized, and also they get many market connections so that they can go out independently and lead a life as a very successful entrepreneurs. It also gives some entrepreneurial models for us to study in various sectors. And when we come to RD planning, Gram Panchayat Development Plan (GPDP) that Director General highlighted and he also explained in detail. It's this planning process includes a very systematic approach where all aspects of rural development are captured through Gram Sabhas, through primary and secondary data, and document is made and a vision is built. So I think very interesting rural development tools are developed which are available for us in this aspects, and NIRD played very important role in institution building, not only self-development of NIRD, but also they developed 29 state Institute of Rural Development, SIRDs. They take care of rural development interest at a very state level. The decentralization of even capacity building has effectively taken place, and more than 90 extension education centers are also there spread across the country. This also gives us some institution building model through NIRD. And of course, regarding startups, I will take this opportunity. In fact, NEDAC as well as CIRDAP, we are hosting a joint program in Thailand on July 21st, 22nd, and 23rd on startups blending with agri cooperatives. Of course, livelihood, partnership, and technology aspects are also brought into that. These brochures are available in CIRDAP websites. We will also already we have circulated with our partners and any interested people. You can just make use of this. And creating 4 crore employment through certain program is not a small achievement. India is a very big country with 1 billion population. Any small change you want to make, you have to put hard work, and you face more challenges. But in spite of that, ensuring the food security is one of the greatest achievement of India. How did they achieve the food security? Through effective implementation of the programs. That also we heard from Director General. Aspirational blocks program. I think special importance is given for development of most backward areas. This focused approach bring people above poverty line. I think this is a very interesting model. Much more we can learn during our NIRD visit. Of course, there is a systematic approach for targeting SDG goals we heard from, and many more things are there. Probably time is the constraint, but otherwise, I think we have the opportunity to listen to Director General on many more things. Again, finally, I would like to thank DG, our NIRD colleagues, and all our knowledge partners, CIRDAP experts, and MOU partners, and other participants who took part in this very important webinar. This is CIRDAP first step. Of course, the natural extension of this is visit to NIRD, staying there for 1 week and listening and sharing our good practices with them. This mutual learning process takes place in the month of June 15 to June 21st. We will be there in NIRD Hyderabad. With this, if with your permission, I would like to thank every one of you for extending wonderful cooperation for this program. Mr. Jakir, over to you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Just before ending, I would like to thank everyone again for your valuable attendance, and thanks to DG NID&PR sir, Dr. G. Narendra Kumar, and our Director General of CIRDAP, Dr. P. Chandrasekhara. And just for a quick information that this Zoom meeting will be available in our website, in our YouTube channel. You can download it from there. For any further queries, you can place it to us. We can forward it to NID&PR later on. And hopefully you have enjoyed and your sessions. And it is exactly almost with a zero network problem, the meeting done. And it is thanks to the network authority also, sir. And thank you, everyone. Hope to see you. And very known faces are there. Many of the known faces are there. And hopefully that okay in the next event in NID&PR. Hope to see you many faces again. I think that this is end of all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Up.